There comes a time in every man's life when he's standing in the middle of emotional wreckage, heart in pieces, mind clouded, pride on the floor. And in that moment, the temptation is loud. To beg, to plead, to convince her to stay. But listen to me. That is the exact moment you redefine who the hell you are. You can stay down and chase her shadow, or you can rise up and chase your potential. This isn't about relationships. This is about respect. Not hers, yours. Because a man who begs loses more than a woman. He loses himself. This speech is not for the weak. It's for the ones ready to stop bleeding for those who don't care and start sweating for the man they were born to become. Let's get to work. Let me make this clear right now. The moment you open your mouth to beg someone to stay, you've already forgotten who the hell you are. Begging is weakness disguised as love. It's desperation dressed up as devotion. You think you're fighting for the relationship, but really, you're abandoning yourself. You don't beg. You become. Become what? Become the man who doesn't need to be chosen because he already chose himself. Become the man who doesn't chase approval because he operates on discipline, not emotion. Become the man who, when someone leaves, doesn't crumble, he builds. You see, when you beg a woman to stay, what you're really saying is, I can't function without you. My strength depends on your presence. My identity is tied to your decision. And that's a death sentence for any man's soul, because a woman might respect your love, but she'll never respect your weakness. And once respect is gone, so is everything else. You want to win in life? You want to attract a woman who truly values you. Don't cry to be seen. Become so powerful, you're impossible to ignore. Build yourself physically. Turn pain into reps. Build yourself mentally. Use heartbreak to sharpen your focus. Build yourself emotionally. Learn to breathe through the storms, not break in them. This isn't about being heartless. This is about being forged by hurt into something unstoppable. The truth is, the strongest men walk through fire without screaming. They don't beg anyone to put it out. They become the fire. The people who left you, let them. The woman who turned her back on you, let her walk. But while she's walking away, you walk towards something greater, your mission, your purpose, your higher self. And here's the magic. When you stop begging, when you start building, when you invest that same energy into you become dangerous. Not reckless, not arrogant, but a man who no longer waits to be saved because he saved himself. So remember this every time you feel that ache in your chest, that temptation to pick up the phone and say, please don't beg, don't fold, become. Because no one is coming to rescue you. It's your job to rescue yourself, and it starts the moment you stop chasing and start rising. Respect isn't something you get by asking for it, and it sure as hell isn't something you receive by begging someone to stay. Respect is earned in silence, in struggle, in solitude. It's earned in the shadows. See, most men want respect in the spotlight. They want applause, praise, validation. They want someone, usually a woman, to look at them and say, you're enough. But that's not how this game works. You don't earn respect by being seen. You earn it by who you become when no one's watching. When she leaves, when your friends go silent, when you're alone with nothing but regret echoing in your chest, that's where the work begins. It's in those lonely nights you either break or you build. You think the gym is just about muscles? No, it's your battlefield. You lift not to look good for her, but to remind yourself that you can still carry weight when life drops it all on your shoulders. You think waking up at 5 a.m. is a productivity hack? No. It's a discipline ritual. It tells your inner coward, shut the fuck up, we're moving forward. You don't need her hand holding you together. You need to bleed alone and stitch yourself up in silence. That's how men are born. not through comfort, not through affection, but through accountability and resilience. Because when she left, she didn't just leave a hole in your life, she gave you a gift, a chance to rebuild in the dark. That's where you sharpen your mind. That's where you control your emotions. That's where you evolve into something no woman can ever walk away from without losing sleep. And here's the real kicker. When you operate from this place of darkness and discipline, you stop caring who respects you. Why? Because you've already earned your own. The world respects results. Your ex respects progress. You should respect the man who never folded when it was easier to beg. So don't post about your grind. Don't announce your comeback. Just disappear into the shadows. Work like hell and return with power they can't ignore, because real men don't beg. They build in silence and they return like a storm. You're hurting right now. Good. That pain, that fire in your gut, that pressure in your chest that makes it hard to breathe, that's your power source. Most people run from pain. They numb it, drown it in distractions, beg someone to come back and fix it. But not you, not anymore. You don't run from pain. You use it. You convert it. That ache you feel, that's the sound of growth trying to break through. That's the fuel that can either destroy you or transform you. The choice is yours. You don't beg her to take the pain away. You earn your healing, one rep at a time, one chapter at a time, one early morning, one cold shower, one set of push-ups when your body says no, but your mind says fuck yes. This isn't emotional heartbreak. This is your awakening. The man who begs is saying, I can't handle the pain. Please take it away. But the man who builds is saying, leave me in the fire. I'm not done cooking yet. You think strength comes from comfort? Strength comes from being uncomfortable and not breaking. You think confidence comes from compliments? Hell no. Confidence comes from taking every ounce of suffering and using it to shape your next level. Pain has a purpose. It sharpens your instincts. It teaches you what weakness looks like, so you never return to it. It shows you what happens when you give someone else power over your peace. But here's the secret. The moment you stop resenting the pain and start respecting it, it becomes your advantage. Every second you hurt is a second of raw material for your comeback. Every tear, every sleepless night, every punch to the gut is more wood on the fire. That fire, that's what will light up the world when you rise again. So don't waste your pain crying into your pillow or texting someone who walked away. Get up, harness that shit. Let it fuel your next level. Because pain doesn't mean you're broken. Pain means you're still alive. And if you're still alive, you've still got a shot to become unstoppable. Let the pain shape you, let it drive you, let it build the beast. You keep saying, I lost her. No, you didn't. You found you. See, most men get so wrapped up in the relationship, they forget who they are. They become addicted to the idea of us and slowly erase their individuality, trying to keep her happy, trying to hold it all together. They stop chasing their goals. They abandon their mission. They dilute their fire just to make the relationship more comfortable. And when she leaves, it feels like the world ends. But in reality, that breakup was a wake-up call. It stripped away your comfort. It yanked off the mask. It left you face to face with the one person you've been neglecting. You. This is where the real journey begins. Because the truth is, you didn't lose love. You lost codependency. You didn't lose a partner. You lost the illusion that you couldn't do life alone. And now you rebuild. Not for revenge, not to prove her wrong, but to remember who the fuck you are. You find the version of you that wakes up early, not to impress her, but to respect himself. You find the version of you that lifts the weight of responsibility, not because anyone's watching, but because you refuse to stay weak. You find the version of you that reads, trains, focuses, and locks in. Not for validation, but because you owe it to the man in the mirror. When she left, she gave you space. And in that space, you have two choices. You can fill it with regret, tears, and self-pity, or you can fill it with discipline, power, and rebirth. You were never supposed to stay broken. You were supposed to break open to the truth, open to the fire, open to the next level of your life where you don't need permission to be powerful. You don't beg to bring her back. You rise so that if she ever sees you again, she's staring at a man she doesn't even recognize because he's no longer the boy who needed her approval. So no, you didn't lose her. You found you. Now build him. Because that man doesn't beg. He becomes a legend. When you beg, you give up your power. When you grind, you take it back. Begging isn't love. It's dependency. It's weakness wrapped in emotion. It's saying, I can't breathe without you. But here's the hard truth. If your peace, your identity, and your purpose depend on someone else staying, then you were never standing on solid ground to begin with. Begging is slavery to emotion. Grinding is liberation through action. You see, when you're in the grind, early mornings, late nights, sweat in your eyes, and fire in your chest, you're not waiting for someone to choose you. You're choosing yourself. You're building the kind of life that no one can take away. Not an ex, not a breakup, not a damn soul. That's freedom. Because when you're begging, you're stuck in a mental prison. You start calculating every text, every call, every glance. Did she read my message? Why hasn't she replied? Maybe if I say this, she'll come back. Stop. That's not strength. That's fear. Fear of being alone. Fear of not being enough. Fear of starting over. But you want to know what's more powerful than fear? Grinding through it. Hit the gym, open the book, learn the skill, build the business, stack the habits, find a mountain, and climb the damn thing, physically or mentally, because every time you invest in yourself, you make a statement. I am not a beggar. I am a builder. Dependency is weakness. It's fragile. It breaks under pressure. But the man who grinds, he becomes anti-fragile. The more you throw at him, the stronger he gets. She took her love? Cool. You found your purpose. She walked away? Great. You walked into your prime. Grinding gives you options. Begging leaves you empty. So trade your tears for reps. Trade your desperation for discipline. Trade your dependency for domination. Because in the end, you don't want her back. You want your freedom back. And no one can give you that but you. So stop begging. Start building. Because the man who grinds never has to ask for love. He attracts it. Let's get something straight. The goal is not to make her regret it. The goal is to become so damn powerful, so laser focused, so locked into your growth that losing you becomes the biggest mistake she ever made. But here's the twist. By the time she realizes it, you won't care anymore. Because when you stop begging and start leveling up, something shifts. You stop chasing closure. You stop replaying the arguments. You stop analyzing what you did wrong. And you start winning. Winning in the gym, winning in your career, winning in your mindset, winning in silence while the world watches in disbelief. Let her see you 6 months from now, stronger, sharper, colder, calmer. You won't need to say a word because your transformation will scream, you lost a fucking force. You think begging will make her stay? Nah. But becoming the best version of yourself, that's what makes people question every decision they made after leaving you. But don't do it for her. Do it because the man you were while begging, he wasn't your final form. He was the warning, the sign that it was time to evolve, to shed the layers of weakness, insecurity, and codependency, and forge something indestructible in their place. This isn't revenge, this is resurrection. You died when she left. Good. Now rise like a motherfucking phoenix, from ashes to alpha, from broken to bulletproof. Every rep, every step, every breath you take from here on out should remind you, I don't need her validation. I am my own proof. And when you build that version of yourself, the kind that commands respect, moves with purpose, and radiates discipline, people feel it. She'll feel it. But by then, you'll be too far ahead for her to reach. Let her regret it. Let her replay the moments she doubted you. Let her scroll through your feed, wondering how the hell you became the man she always wanted after she left. But don't pause your rise for anyone. You're not just leveling up to prove a point. You're leveling up because you finally remembered who the hell you are. Never beg. Just become so great, they'll never get over losing you.